guys, with this one right here, Osirus, Jack, 66-7, Ron, Van, and you got Clief. You got the Ron, Van, Clief, and you got what Osirus, Jack, and 667. And you know what, especially them, you know, cause you got a whole name throttle like with them coming in. Especially you got OBS and you got Osirus, then you got Jack. So you got a whole bunch of other columnists coming into it. And now you got their whole thing coming into it. You know, with the Ron, Van, and Clief, like you got the whole thing just coming into another thing. You know, with the Clief, and then you got this whole other thing. But you got with the just Jack and Osirus 66-7. You know, and this whole thing, like you got you just got metals as friends and like coming into it, and the whole thing, you know, especially with them and them both having their thing, and you know, with them just closing around. But you know, especially with the whole just and Moranic.
Il y a toujours quelqu'un au-dessus de toi pour payer la police et les autorités pour que tu puisses travailler tranquillement. Ça t'intéresse? Ok, ça marche.
Nique la ceinture LHC, tout le THC dans ma tête quand je les baisse, je focus. Ouais. Osirus rentre Van Clief, on reprend l'or de chez Van Clief. Magnitude 7 quand je kick, je te sape tout le dessus de la tête comme kill. Précis comme C2S, trop de BR dans la machine. Rafale de balles par 3, Osirus Jack qui sort de la matrice. OVC comme Foubou, chaque jour sous terre je me lève. Rap dans les sous-terres de Genève. Débarque sous pollen, tout roule, mais fut le tonnerre tout mou. LD au cartel de luxe, que des kills que je côtoie. Nique la ceinture LHC, tout le THC dans ma tête quand je les baisse, je focus. Comment faire Max Gouab, Osirus et Kélas. Fuck Puff, Jazzy et Nas. Rôde le soir comme à Gotham, fuck le cerné, le Gotthard. Réflexion que sous gros terre, Dameson. Faire Max Gouab, Osirus et Kélas. Fuck Puff, Jazzy et Nas. Rôde le soir comme à Gotham, fuck le cerné, le Gotthard.
Ooh, and then the whole thing, you know, how it's just real staminalism. Like, you know, you got the thing just coming side to side, and you know, just other licks to licks, and you got the main things coming into it, especially with the, you know, the Harlems and the things. Like, this one sound like a little mannerism, like just the other collapse to it. It just sounds a little bit alike to, you know, the other things that be going on. Like, you know, this one just got a little like a low visit to it, like the way it's just floating and wristing and all that stuff. Like, you know, the way it's just Mormonism and stuff like that. You got the whole thing just another Tannerism, like the way it's just floated and all this other Spanish thing going on. Like, you got the main stress it.
Réflexion que sous gros terre, Dameson, on veut les love, comme pas possible ou le pape, crash la lave et nos caps, Zirus j'fais ça en loose, cap la potion comme un druide, Mick Makesso à slim, rap depuis so ici, combat contre le 3 à 6, dans le délire que des hops, pas de puta de Croatie, on est qui lu négro jusqu'à l'os, bientôt le verso c'est la der, cartel d'élite. Dans le délire que des hops, pas de puta de Croatie, on est qui lu négro jusqu'à l'os, bientôt le verso c'est la der, cartel d'élite dans la soucoupe. Mon négro, on n'est pas dans la perte, on est sous couche, consomme ton vos serres, secours. Négro, tu pèses pas, t'en fais des kills. Les hectares, j'crame gros, j'en fais des titres. Hein, vif, pas de narcoleptique. J'roule, j'fume, j'décompresse. J'découpe, faut les seringues décompresse. J'fly grave, j'suis comme d'assaut. J'ai 19 types d'assaut. Prêt au poste comme pour gazole. Dans le blunt, trop de gasoil. L'équipe les.
Oh, he said down glows to the down some, like, you know, and he said flows to the close, and like the way it just really hidden, like it just got another speak to it, like, you know, like they say, you know, we're speaking of this, like that's what they got, like they got we're speaking of this, like the reception and stuff like that, like they got a whole nother resumption of their you know, type of rhythms, like the way they just, you know, rosing and flows, and like they got it just on another thing, like they got their own kind of metalisms and all their other spirituals, like the way they just breaking in and sprucing them, like they got the whole thing just on another at floss. Like you can't even break down most of the the bars and this the parts. Like they just got it on another spinning thing.
Dans affûté, sadique comme un parachutiste, amnésia X, taga du riff. Avec du toc, ça joue les alchimistes avec Jackie. Retrouve la prod calcinée, consomme mon son, t'as le vertige, t'es fait vaciller. Reprends les terres qu'ils ont assignées. Ça fouette ses foufous depuis l'ombre. Je me sonne à base bœuf et de pilon. Vlad Beuge en magazine. OV général en bosse dans ma tête, c'est comme dans un magasin. Deep 67 c'est 20-1. Kilo, je débarque en basin. Gros ben 200 les voisins. Direct j'arrive, je les vois zinc. Je vois la concu, c'est moisi. Ils sont tous pareils comme à choisi. Je pars en croisière, je pars en quête. D'or et de monnaie que ça en tête. Les négros sont là, je vois en perte. Ouais, OV. J'roule, j'fume, j'décompresse. J'découpe, faut les seringues décompresse. J'ai 19 types d'assaut. Prêt au poste comme pour gazole.
This is some major right here, but you got the 667. You know, shout out to the whole 667 because they got a whole like riot thing going on. You know, they got their whole riot thing and their whole, you know, they got a whole like most of the ribbits, like most of the ribbits and the riots, because you know their teams is they got a crazy type of team, and you know the people that they should be around them, like especially because you got this one, you got Osirus Jack. And you got Osirus Jack, so it's like, you know, you got one of the main ones right here. Like, you got one of them coming into it, and especially with the whole other thing coming into it, because you got their main things coming into it, and everything else. But just with this one taking over, like he was really taking over this one and all the other ones, especially what they got going on, because they got a menace thing going. Like they just off another Hispanic, like they on another spinnicky thing going on, like another extentical thing, you know, taking off of that at court. But you got this one right here, and most definitely check it out. Like, comment, and you know, with this, just slowly